Years working undercover in the Department of Homeland Security, and you were very involved in human trafficking, which of course is the fastest growing crime in the world right now. And you see so much of what's going on in children. Give us just a brief idea of what's going on at the border.
Well, I was a special agent on the southern border working child trafficking cases, so I understand what's going on here. These children are brought through where there's a wall-less section of the border. One little girl I'll tell you about that we helped get out of this. She was trafficked through the wall-less section into New York City, and this is typical. This is the reality. She was raped 30 to 40 times a day for 5 years. 13 years old. Okay. Now, had there been a wall. The wall is a law enforcement operation. Had there been a wall, the traffickers would have been forced to take her through a port of entry, like Tom said, he's absolutely correct, where we have alert agents, high technologies. Her chances of rescue grow exponentially. But these traffickers need these kids up here because the highest consuming nation of child pornography and child sex is the United States.
Is the United States.
So they want to get these kids here. We need to do better for them.
But doesn't it surprise you, and I know you were undercover and you're not about politics, but doesn't it stun you that the left, which is supposed to be so sensitive, absolutely denies these facts that you have actually seen at the border?
Well, I just have to assume that they haven't been on the border and that, I haven't seen them there working. I was 10 years on that border going undercover, and I didn't see any of them there. So we need to talk to people who are there, experts who are there, the law enforcement entities who are there and see the problem.
And Tom, I'll go to you. And yet the Democrats are coming out and saying, we don't need a steel slab barrier. Forget a wall. Wall's off the table. We don't need it. We're going to listen to the experts. Well, the experts are the ones who want the wall.
Well, two things. First of all, if I can follow up on the last comment, the problem with Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer is they hate this president more than they take the responsibility to protect people, protect this country, and protect our sovereignty. As far as the wall, I'll say it for the 1,000th time. Nancy and Chuck, look at the data. Every place they have built a border barrier, every place, 100% of the time, it had a direct impact on decreasing illegal immigration. Let's just use San Diego Caravan for one example. When they surge the border and they come running to the border, two things stopped them: the existing barrier and the men and women in green. That's what stopped them. And that's what President Trump's asking for. Nancy and Chuck haven't been to the border one time to talk to Border Patrol agents about why they need a wall.
Okay.
Not once.
All right. And Tim, last question. How many children do you know are being trafficked from Mexico across the U.S. border a year?
According to the Trafficking in Persons report, about 10,000 children every year forced into the U.S., into the commercial sex trade. With adults, that number is closer to 20,000. So this is massive. This is massive.
Well, I know.